Yes friends, next video from Dhruva Edutainment and Vidu classes. Friends, very important question. That is what friends? Write a note on the mechanism of action of hormones. So friends, action of hormones. Write about the action of hormones. Write a note on the mechanism of action of hormones. Now see friends, see this is slightly complicated topic friends. First you know the terms which come across in this topic. See, these are the important terms or words which come across in this topic friends. What is that? First messenger, receptors. Receptors are two types friends. They are membrane bound receptors, intracellular receptors. Membrane bound receptors, intracellular receptors. Third one, HRC, hormone receptor complex. Hormone receptor complex, that is HRC. Fourth one, cyclic AMP, that is second messenger. Cyclic AMP, that is second messenger. Fifth one, target cell. Sixth one, adenylate cyclase. Seventh one, cascading actions. First you know the definition or meaning of these terms friends. Then it is easy to you to write about this answer. Okay friends, now I will take one by one friends. What is first messenger? See friends, first messenger, it is nothing but hormone friends. Hormone itself acts as a first messenger. You know, hormones are called as messengers friends, chemical messengers. So hormone itself acts as a first messenger because the first event in the sequence is binding the hormone to the plasma membrane of the plasma membrane receptor. See, receptors are present in the plasma membrane friends. So what is the first action in this hormone mechanism is what friends? The hormone binds to what friends? Receptor of the plasma membrane. See friends, because the first event in the sequence is binding of the hormone to the plasma membrane receptor. You know friends, receptors are two types. What are they? See friends, membrane bound receptors. Here this is membrane bound receptor. Hormone attaches to the membrane bound receptor. So because of that, what we are saying friends, the first messenger is what? Hormone, because it itself acts as a first messenger, because the first event in the sequence is what friends? Binding of the hormone to the membrane bound receptor, that is plasma membrane receptor. Now see friends, receptor, second one. Receptor is what friends? Hormonal receptors which receives hormone, they are called as receptors. So because of that we are calling them as hormonal receptors. It is a cell protein that binds a specific hormone. See, what are receptors friends? Receptors are the cell proteins. They bind what friends? A specific hormone. Each and every hormone has a specific receptor. So each and every receptor receives a specific hormone. So receptors are not common friends, they are specific. Next one. This hormone receptor may be on the surface of the target of the cell or inside the cell. See friends, these receptors are of two types, you know, membrane bound receptors and intracellular receptors. So here these hormone receptors may be on the surface of the target cell. They are membrane bound receptors or inside the cell. So receptors are two types, you know it. Okay friends. Now see friends, these receptors are two types. One is membrane bound receptors, second one is intracellular receptors. See, membrane bound receptors are present to where friends? Present on the surface of the target cell. Intracellular receptor present inside the cell. Okay friends, that is of the receptors. Receptors are whom friends? Hormonal receptors. Now come to the one by friends. Now you take membrane bound receptors. These membrane bound receptors present on the cell membrane or plasma membrane of the target cell. Where do we have membrane bound receptors? They are present on the plasma membrane or cell membrane of the target cell. They are also called as extracellular receptor, friends. Membrane bound receptors are also called as extracellular receptors. For example, see friends, receptors of the peptide hormone. Receptors of the peptide hormones are extracellular receptors or membrane bound receptors. So whenever you are writing about the peptide hormones action, you have to know they have what, friends? Extracellular receptors or membrane bound receptors. Okay. Now come to intracellular receptors. These are present inside the cell or in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus of target cell. See friends, intracellular receptors are present inside the cell or in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus of the target cell, friends. Next, friends, these intracellular receptors are mostly nuclear receptors because they are present in the nucleus. The intracellular receptors are mostly what, friends? Nuclear receptors because they are present in the nucleus. Example, see friends, receptors of the steroid hormones. Receptors of the peptide hormones are membrane bound receptors for NEET and MSET, friends. Membrane bound receptors are the receptors of peptide hormones. Intracellular receptors are the receptors of steroid hormones. Okay, friends, that's about the receptors. Now come to hormone receptor complex. See friends, many changes take place in a cell after a hormone binds to its receptor. You know, friends, hormone is the first messenger. When it binds to its receptor, either it may be extracellular receptor or intracellular receptor. Many changes take place in a cell after a hormone binds to its receptor. This hormone and its receptor protein, receptors are proteins, together form a hormone receptor complex. What is that, friends? HRC, friends. This hormone and its receptor protein or receptor together form hormone receptor complex, that is HRC, friends. This hormone receptor complex generates biochemical changes in the target cell. So hormone combined with the receptor and it forms HRC, hormone receptor complex. This HRC generates what, friends? Biochemical changes in the target cell. See friends, hormone, that is first messenger, receptor, it forms hormone receptor complex or hormone receptor complex. Okay, friends. Next, this is cyclic, Now come to second messenger, friends. Second messenger, cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP, friends, AMP, adenosine monophosphate. You know ATP, friends. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ADP, adenosine diphosphate, AMP, adenosine monophosphate. Here AMP means what, friends? It is a nucleotide with one phosphate. AMP means what, friends? It is a nucleotide with one phosphate. Nucleotide with two phosphates, diphosphate, ATP. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, friends. AMP is what, friends? Adenosine monophosphate. See, friends, cyclic AMP or second messenger. First messenger is the hormone, friends. Cyclic AMP acts as second messenger. See, friends, it acts as second messenger or intracellular messenger in water soluble hormones. See, friends, this cyclic AMP or second messenger acts as what, friends? Intracellular messenger in water soluble hormones. Hormones are two types, friends, lipid soluble and water soluble. In water soluble hormones, this cyclic AMP acts as second messenger. Okay, friends, that is important, friends. This acts as second messenger in water soluble hormones. in lipid soluble hormones we don't have second messenger, friends. Remember it, friends. Okay. Now it is used for intracellular signal stimulation. The second messenger used for what, friends? Intracellular signal stimulation. It stimulates the signals inside the cell. Next one, AMP means adenosine monophosphate. AMP means what, friends? Adenosine monophosphate. It is cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Friends, AMPs are two types, friends. One is linear, another one is cyclic. Here in the hormonal action we are using cyclic AMP. It is cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Cyclic AMP involved in adenylyl and glucagon mechanism. See, friends, adenylyl and glucagon mechanism. Peptide hormones, these are, friends. Cyclic AMP involved in adenylyl and glucagon mechanism. As they are large hormones, they are unable to pass through the plasma membrane of the target cell. So this adenylyl and glucagon are the large hormones. So they won't enter into the plasma inside the cell or into the target cell. So because of that, adenylyl and glucagon or peptide hormones use what, friends? A second messenger. That is cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP. See, friends, it acts as a second messenger to relay extracellular signals to intracellular signals. See, friends, here adenylyl and glucagon are the large hormones. They won't enter into the cell, target cell. So here this cyclic AMP acts as second messenger for what, friends? To relay, to transfer, to transmit the extracellular signals, extracellular information into the intracellular or into the inside cell of inside the target cell. See, friends, how cyclic AMP activate? ATP. What is ATP, friends? Adenosine triphosphate. In the presence of an enzyme, what is that? Adenyl cyclase convert into CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. It is not linear, friends. It is cyclic in manner. So in the presence of one enzyme, what is that? Adenyl cyclase, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, convert into AMP. So ATP, last two phosphate or inorganic phosphates and convert into cyclic AMP. Okay, friends? See, friends, now come to the next one, target cell. The cell which responds to a hormone is called target cell. You know, friends, target organ, target cell. Hormone shows its action on the target organ. The cells of the target organ called as what, friends? Target cell. So what is target cell, friends? The cell which responds to a hormone is called as what, friends? Target cell. Each target cell has 5,000 to 1 lakh hormone receptors. See, friends, each target cell has 5,000 to 1 lakh hormone receptors. Now see, friends, adenylate cyclase. Next word. Adenylate cyclase is an enzyme, friends. Adenylate cyclase is an enzyme. It is an enzyme, friends. It is present within the cell membrane. It helps in the production of CMP, that is cyclic AMP. The cyclic adenosine monophosphate. What is CMP, friends? Cyclic adenosine monophosphate. From where, friends? From adenosine triphosphate. Just now I told, friends, here you see this is equation. See, friends, ATP in the presence of adenylate cyclase converted into CAMP. Same, friends. Here we are discussing about adenylate cyclase. Adenyl cyclase is an enzyme. It is present within the cell membrane of the target cell. It helps in the formation of CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. From where, friends? From ATP, from adenosine triphosphate. See, friend, adenyl cyclase converts ATP into CAMP. ATP converted into AMP in the presence of adenyl cyclase. This reaction is regulated by hormones like adenyl and glucagon. Just now I told, friends, adenyl and glucagon are peptide hormones. So peptide hormones, in the action of the peptide hormones only we have second messenger, that is adenyl cyclase. Okay, friend. Now see, friends, pathway of the adenyl cyclase. The outside signal, that is first messenger, binds to a receptor, that is extracellular receptor or membrane bound receptor, hormone receptor bound or bound receptor, that transmits a signal to the G protein, friends. Once again, friends, the outside signal or first messenger binds to a receptor. Receptor here present in the cell membrane. That after binding the receptor, that transmits a signal to the G protein. G protein is present in the lower side of the plasma membrane, friends. This transmits a signal by converting ATP to cyclic AMP. This transmits a signal by converting ATP to cyclic AMP. See here, friends, hormone receptor which activates G protein. The G protein activates adenylyl cyclase. This adenylyl cyclase convert ATP into AMP. Once again, friends, hormone receptor activates G protein. This G protein activates adenylyl cyclase. This adenylyl cyclase convert ATP into AMP. Okay, friends. Now, what is cascading actions? Cascading actions, it is also known as signaling pathway. It is a series of reactions occur one after the other within the cell when initiated by stimulus. Friends, whenever you hear the word cascading reactions, what is that, friends? It is a signaling pathway. It is a series of reactions occur in the cell one after the other when the cell is stimulated. Okay, friends, that is about the cascading pathway. Now come to some NEET and MCET bits, friends. Hormone is known as first messenger, you have to remember it, friends. Cyclic AMP is known as second messenger, friends. This adenylyl cyclase can produce many molecules of CAMP. Adenylyl cyclase is an enzyme. It is present within the cell membrane. It helps in the production of CAMP. Adenylyl cyclase converts ATP into CAMP. This reaction is regulated by hormone like adenylyl and glucagon. Okay, friends. Cyclic AMP is in cyclic manner. AMP is non-cyclic manner. You have to remember it, friends. What is the difference between AMP and cyclic AMP? Cyclic AMP is in cyclic manner. AMP is non-cyclic or linear. Here you see, friends, this is the image of the reaction. This is ATP. In the presence of adenylyl cyclase, it lost 2 phosphates and gives rise to AMP, cyclic AMP, friends. Okay, friends. Once again, you see, please don't write this in the IP, friends. Okay. Next, once again, see, friends, here ATP in the presence of adenylyl cyclase, it is forming what, friends? Cyclic AMP. Now see, friends, this is important. Now you have to write this in your IP. Types of hormonal action. Hormonal activities of 2 types, friends. One is protein hormone activity, and the one is steroid hormone activity. Friends, one is protein hormone activity, and the one is what, friends? Steroid hormone activity. What is protein hormone activity? A protein hormone is a hormone which cannot penetrate the cell membrane of the target cell. Friends, a protein hormone like adenylyl, glucagon, friends, a protein hormone on the hormone, it cannot penetrate the cell membrane of the target cell. See, friends, it attaches to the cell membrane and activates the receptor. What is receptor, friends? G protein. That in turn release a messenger within a cell, that is adenylate cyclase. Okay, friends. Now come to steroid hormones. A steroid hormone has capacity to cross the cell membrane of the target cell. Peptide hormones won't enter into the cell, friends, target cell, but steroid hormones, they are lipolytic, they can enter into the cell. It unites with the receptor protein located inside the nucleus, which stimulates or blocks the cell genetic activity. Okay, friends. Now come to one by one, friends. Now come to hormonal action of the epinephrine or membrane bound receptor hormones. Mechanism of membrane bound hormones. That is, example here we are taking what, friends? Epinephrine. Epinephrine is a hydrophilic hormone, friends. It is a hydrophilic hormone. Means what, friends? It is water soluble hormone. Epinephrine is also called as what, friends? Fight and flight hormone. What's the function of this hormone, friends? This activate phosphorylation reactions. It has so many reactions, friends, but here we are taking one of the reactions. What is that? It activates phosphorylation reactions. Okay, friends. Now it is a peptide hormone or protein hormone or amino hormone. Epinephrine is a peptide hormone or protein hormone or amine hormone. It cannot penetrate into the target cell, friends. It cannot enter into the target cell. Peptide hormones or the hydrophilic hormones, they won't enter into the target cells because of their size, because of hydrophilic activity, whatever it may be, friends. So whenever you hear the word peptide hormones, that is glucagon or epinephrine, they won't enter into the target cell. Okay, friends. So in liver cells, here the liver cell is the target cell of the epinephrine, friends. In liver cells, epinephrine attaches to the cell membrane receptor and activates it. So in liver cells, this epinephrine attaches to the cell membrane receptor, membrane bound receptor, friends, or extracellular receptors, friends, and activates that cell, that is liver cell. Here target cell is what, friends? Liver cell. See, friends, this cell membrane receptor in turn release a messenger, that is G protein within a cell. When this hormone attaches to the membrane bound receptor, in turn they release what, friends? A G protein within a cell. Okay, friends. See, friends, this G protein is inactive G protein. With the help of HRC, that is, what is HRC, friends? Hormone receptor complex. It is converted into active G protein. Okay, friends. G protein is inactive protein. In the presence of hormone receptor complex, it is converted into active G protein. See, friends, this active G protein of cell membrane binds to GTP, friends, ATP, GTP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. GTP means guanosine triphosphate, friends. ATP, GTP, CTP, TTP, you have to remember it, friends. GTP means what, friends? Guanosine triphosphate, and activate adenylate cyclase. See, friends, this active G protein of the cell membrane binds to GTP. GTP is nothing but ATP, friends. It is guanosine triphosphate, and activate adenylate cyclase. You know what is adenylate cyclase? It is an enzyme, friends. It is an enzyme. See, friends, inactive adenylate cyclase plus active G protein. It converts what, friends? Active adenylate cyclase. This active adenylate cyclase forms what, friends? CAMP from ATP, cyclic AMP from ATP. ATP plus active adenylate cyclase gives rise to CAMP, cyclic AMP. This cyclic AMP acts as second messenger, you know it, friends. The cyclic AMP activates protein kinase. See, friends, it's cascading reactions, one after the other. First what happened, friends? See, HRC activates inactive G protein into active G protein. Active G protein activates inactive adenylate cyclase into active adenylate cyclase. Active adenylate cyclase forms CAMP. The same CAMP activates one more substance, that is protein kinase A. This protein kinase A activates enzyme phosphorylase, friends. Protein kinase A activates another enzyme. What is that, friends? Enzyme phosphorylase. Active protein kinase plus inactive phosphorylase gives rise to active phosphorylase. See, friends, this active phosphorylase phosphorylates glycogen into glucose 6-phosphate. This active phosphorylase, an enzyme which phosphorylates glycogen into what, friends? Glucose 6-phosphate. See, friends, glycogen plus phosphorylase gives rise to glucose 6-phosphate. This glucose 6-phosphate convert into glucose. Glucose 6-phosphate convert into what, friends? Glucose plus IP means inorganic phosphate, friends. Okay, friends, this is the mechanism of what, friends? Which protease, which hormone? That is membrane bound receptor hormonal action, that is epinephrine, membrane bound hormonal action. See in this image, friends, once again, once you see this image, See friends, epinephrine is a peptide hormone or protein hormone or amine hormone or large hormone. It won't penetrate into the cell, so it attaches to the membrane bound receptor. It is activating the G protein. This G protein in turn activating the adenylate cyclase. This adenylate cyclase convert ATP into AMP. AMP convert into inactive protein kinase A into active protein kinase A. This protein kinase A converts glycogen into glucose 1-phosphate, later glucose 6-phosphate, then glucose. This glucose goes out from the cell, friends. Okay, friends. This is about the mechanism of the hormone action of the epinephrine or peptide hormone. See, friends, here you see one or two important MSET bits. In liver cells, epinephrine stimulates the breakdown of glycogen into glucose, resulting increase the blood glucose level. You know, friends, epinephrine or adenylyl helps in hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia means what, friends? Increasing the blood sugar level, blood glucose level. How they are increasing, friends? In liver cells, epinephrine stimulates the breakdown of glycogen into glucose, resulting increase the blood glucose level. Okay, friends. Now see, friends, one more action. Peptide hormone, one more image. Peptide hormone attaches to the membrane bound receptor. This membrane bound receptor stimulates the cyclic adenylate cyclase. Then it converts ATP into cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP converted into what, friends? Glucose. The cyclic AMP acts as second messenger. Peptide hormone, that is epinephrine, or act as what, friends? First messenger. Okay, friends. Next hormone we will take. Mechanism of steroid hormones. Mechanism of steroid hormone action. Or example what, friends? Steroid hormones or iodothyroids. Okay, friends. Aldosterone. Here example is aldosterone, friends. Aldosterone is secreted by adrenal cortex. It is a steroid hormone. It is a mineralocorticoid. It regulates the balance of water and electrolytes in the body. This aldosterone regulates the water and electrolyte balance of the body, friends. This aldosterone is a lipid soluble hormone, friends. Epinephrine is a water soluble hormone. It is a lipid soluble hormone. That is hydrophilic hormone. This is lipophilic hormone. Okay, friends. It diffuses into the cytoplasm through the plasma lemma. See, friends, adenylyl won't enter into the cell, but aldosterone, it enters into the cell, friends, target cell. It diffuses, it enters into the cytoplasm through the plasma lemma. Means it can penetrate into the target cell. That is important, friends. It binds to the internal receptors. See, friends, there it binds to the external receptors. Friends, epinephrine binds to the external receptor, that is membrane bound receptors. Here aldosterone binds to the internal receptors, means that is these receptors present inside the cell of the target cell and form hormone receptor complex, that is aldosterone hormone receptor complex. Okay, friends, this HRC enter the nucleus and binds to the DNA. See, friends, after formation of HRC, that enters into the nucleus and binds to the DNA and stimulates the production of specific mRNA. See, friends, the HRC after formation of hormone receptor complex that enters into the nucleus, it binds to the DNA and stimulates the production of a specific mRNA, messenger RNA. This mRNA in turn, once again, friends, enters into the cytoplasm and attaches to the ribosomes and produce specific proteins. See, after formation of mRNA, that mRNA once again enters into the cytoplasm from nucleus and it attaches to the ribosomes and form a specific proteins and produce a specific proteins. The hormone receptor complex which stimulates or blocks the cell genetic activity or direct the action of genes. So this hormone receptor complex of the what friends? Aldosterone stimulates, either it stimulates or blocks of the genetic activity or it direct the action of the genes, activity of the genes. Okay friends, now see the hormone of this, action of the steroid hormones. See friends, steroid hormones, they are entering into the cell friends. See, in the cell they are forming hormone receptor. This is hormone, this is receptor. These two are forming friends, hormone receptor complex. This hormone receptor complex enters into the nucleus. It attaches to the DNA and stimulates what friends? mRNA. See friends, this mRNA coming out from the cell or it enters into cytoplasm. It helps in the production of new protein. Okay friends, this is the hormonal action of what friends? Steroid hormones. Okay friends, this is about the mechanism of hormonal action. Okay friends, thank you. Good day.